This is Clarity Empress, the Empress of Clarity, here to bring you a collective energy reading for none other than my Clarity Empress Collective. I hope everybody is doing well. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comment section or the chat and let me know if the reading resonates with you. I hope that you are doing well, you are warm or comfortable. Yeah, I hope you're doing great. We need a positive energy reading today, so let's see what's next. There's a lot of karma in the air, and the energy really in general for a lot of folks. So I hope you standing on the side of right or what's good in the world, so that you can receive your dharma energy, that good from the lessons that you've learned. Otherwise, you're gonna be like a lot of folks experiencing some interesting energy right about now. But we want to see what's next, right? So let's see. Let's focus on the positive if possible and go from there. I don't know who's coming tonight. We're just going to roll with it, okay? Okay, so we start with the money moves deck because, money gives us that freedom that we look for. If you see my hands tonight, they have food coloring on them from the experiments I was doing, so please pay that no mind. They're not dirty. It's just I gotta I gotta get some I guess rubbing alcohol to get that coloring off my hands because I just soiled them tonight. It's like playing. All right, Spirit, give me a message for the collective. What they need to know. A happy birthday to my little brother today. I shouted him out in person, but happy birthday, little big head, and he know who he is. Love you. All right, Spirit, give me a message for the collective. What they need to know. Love affair. Oh, just say be aware. Love affairs at work rarely and where. Work at work rarely. Can't even say rarely. And well, so don't lose your mind. So if you just somebody, that's past energy. So if it was something that did not work well, basically Spirit saying don't lose your mind over that. Peace, sis. Don't lose your mind. Don't waste too much time ruminating over it. Certain things, they just don't work well. And I was just talking to somebody about potential love at the workplace, and it just was giving red flags. So I pointed them out. So we hope that's past energy because we don't need no red flags going forward. Hi. How are you? TSK or T-Sky. Guardian angel. Listen, your guardian angels will send you protectors along the way. Ooh, money tree. So yeah, some higher power is protecting you from difficult situations. And the money tree, dreams come true. You will get what you've been longing. Long desire. I can't even talk tonight, but I just realized it's that. So yeah. Tell me more, Spirit. Ooh, partnership. Joining forces with business partners for win-win cooperation. Prioritize your connections. So listen, if there's a missing factor that you haven't been paying attention to, it's probably a good partnership that you're not paying attention to. The challenge and the lesson position is where partnerships is. So evaluate your partnerships. There are some that are beneficial and some that will waste your time. Okay, take it how it resonates. If it don't resonate, don't take it. Make sure you ring that bell. That way you're notified anytime I come on. Tell me more, Spirit. And we got gambling. Ooh, excessive gambling can have dangerous consequences. Don't risk too much. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's time for strategic planning. Okay, when it comes to your money, when it comes to your business, whatever it is that you're doing, It's time to plan. Don't do the shot in the dark. Don't just put it all out there and hope that, you know what I'm saying, it kind of flow. That gambling will get you in some hot water. If you are actually gambling, that's your warning to stop, to go get help or whatever you need. But if it's just about gambling when it comes to your money and your career and finances, Spirit says slow down and be more strategic. There are certain partnerships that will work out and some that will completely waste your time. Choose wisely. You do have a guardian angel. You do have money coming to you. Okay, your desires will be met, but it still requires you to make good decisions and leave bad ones behind. And then we got authority. Take on the role of a leader, and everyone will respect you. Be self confident. Yeah, it's time for you to step in that role of the authority, the leader. If you have been working the shadows, playing the background, pumping somebody else up, not taking the accolades you deserve, Spirit says step out of that shadow. You are who you are for a reason. You have a certain level of talent. What you do with that is completely up to you. But if you have the talent, the know-how, the potential, whatever, it's time for you to actualize that. You can't just play the back all the time. If you are meant to be in the forefront, get comfortable with that. Spirit say be self-confident. It's time. Don't waste your time here on this planet during this incarnation. We are heaven on earth while we're here. So it's not good or better on the other side. It's what it is that we make of it right now. Spirit said be confident. Tell me more, Spirit, about this love affair in the past. Loyalty. Oh, okay. So just as true friendship and loyalty are amongst the most important values. So whatever this situationship you had in the past, it didn't go well based on loyalty. Somebody was more loyal than the other. That never balances out when there's one pulling away when another isn't. Tell me more, Spirit. Oh, yep, endings. And your guardian angels are helping you put endings to things. Says the cycle is over. It's time for you to make a change, rebirth. It's time to say goodbye. Yeah, you gotta let go of things that no longer work for you. Let those cycles go so that you can bring in the wealth and abundance and prosperity that you are meant to have. You cannot bring that in well with carrying dead weight. I mean, it's not that spirit won't give you what you want, but sometimes they'll hold it until you learn some lessons that you need to learn. Sometimes wealth is just literally waiting for you, but your spirit guides will be like, nah, I don't think they ready because they still doing the same, excuse me, y'all, the same thing they was doing last time. Or when things didn't work out, they're still doing the things that held them back. I feel like sometimes it's like you walk in glue. You know you're supposed to get ahead and you can't seem to get ahead because your spirit guides are like, listen, you remember that lesson that we gave you? You haven't learned it. You still holding on to it. Hey, Carmen. So these endings are here for a reason, and I know a lot of people fight endings, right? A lot of people fight, excuse me, endings because they don't like transition. People don't like change. I'm sorry, y'all. I had a little mixed drink here. You know how I don't, I'm sounding crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway. Oh, so ending. So you didn't miss too much, Carmen. What you call it? You can go backwards. Peace, bite. Peace, 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 y'all. Y'all didn't miss a lot. You didn't miss a lot. All right, so money tree. The money tree is here. Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. Anyway, so the money tree is here. But you're not shaking that money tree until you end a lot of shit. Okay? And the endings is here. And your guardian angel is saying, listen, I will hold that door closed until you get it in your thick skull, whatever that is, whatever your lesson is. And once you get it in your thick skull, what you need to be going forward with, then we can pour out the blessings you've been waiting for. But if you gonna sit there and hold on to old, tired, drained, miserable, poisonous, toxic, people pleasing, or whatever the way is that you're dealing with right now, you're not going to get what you want because you don't want it bad enough. So you let it go. All right. Tell me, ooh, tell me more, Spirit. Tell me about this money tree, Spirit. Ooh, resources. Be grateful for what you have and save some things for the future. Use wisely and as needed. Okay. Money tree. Ching, ching, ching goes a money tree. Something is coming your way in a form of resources, in a form of cash, in the form of checks, in the form of, credits in your bank account or in your wallet. Okay? So something's coming, but you gotta provide the universe with that in. You gotta show the universe and your spirit guides that you have learned your karmic lessons about whatever was wasting your time and your energy, whatever was depleting you. They can't give something to you if your hand is closed, holding on to something that you no longer need. It does the universe don't work like that, because you're telling the universe, if your hand is clenched and you cannot open it up to receive anything, then you are telling the universe you don't want it. So you gotta release it. Let it go. Let it go. You say, I don't want it. I don't need it. That's all right. I'll wait next time. I'll wait next time. And then after a while, there ain't no next time. Spirit says fertility. It's time to think about family, life, and children. Don't sacrifice family for career. Let me tell you something. One of my mentees called me today. And this man, she's a social worker now. And she was saying how this man, he he has stage 4 cancer, and because he wouldn't change his ways, he had a good partner that was willing to sacrifice, to support him, to take care of him, to nurture him, but he wouldn't get out of his own way. And now he's on the verge of dying alone. Blew my mind, because I didn't think she was going to go there. In the conversation, she was saying how they were looking for him to offer him resources and stuff that he needs, but he keeps getting in his own way. Sometimes people take for granted the fertility, the blessings that they have, the fact that they can be abundant and supportive and live out their best days with people that love and nurture them. Sometimes folks take that shit for granted. They ignore the partnerships. That's why the partnership and fertility is in a challenge of the lesson. They ignore the fertile partnerships that would feed him. Like his whole spirit could have been fed with somebody that loved and nurtured him. But now she walked away. She finally just was done. Done. No more arguing, no more fighting, no more fussing, no more nothing. I was like, wow. And so he's on the end stages. And it's just crazy to me how, sometimes it is just what his soul signed up for. But the lesson is to get out your way. You know why? Because no man is an island. No man, no woman. I just mean human, right? No human is an island. We are not supposed to be hyper independent and on our own all the time. We require human touch and interaction. We require loving connections, right? Those extend our lives and add joy. They said there's no amount of money that you can make that's ever, and this is scientifically studied, gonna ever improve the quality of your life to the point where you're happy. That's why there's so many miserable millionaires and billionaires, because they don't have the right people around them, or they haven't been right to people around them. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me about gambling. Somebody was gambling with their future, though. I wonder if I'm picking up in this dude energy. But anyway, somebody's gambling with their future. Flexibility says adapt slowly by using versatility. Compromise. You know what I just said? Folks got to change their ways. Somebody was gambling with their future by not changing their ways, right? So the thing is, what I see in these cards tonight is that there are blessings, there are resources available to you. But there's some major shifting and endings, because ending is here, that has to change before spirit will give it to you. And it's not, there's no ambition that's going to give it to you. There's no opportunity that's just going to be perfect. Nope. Until partnerships are addressed, loyalty is addressed, love is addressed, because that's here. Um, and being flexible, meaning willing to adapt and change. Like, the biggest problem a lot of people have is they do not like change. They feel, I don't need to change nothing. I'm good. I like me. Or at least they say they do, right? But Spirit is clearly saying that somebody's gambling, and what I'm hearing is by not being flexible. Somebody has to learn, like, I can change. I can grow. Remember last night? Was it last night? I don't remember when I was on. But whatever. I was telling y'all, you never meet the same person twice. Why? Because that person can grow. You ever have a conversation with somebody and you pick up where you left off? And there's nothing wrong with that. But you realize they are in the same time period and or the same energy every time you speak to them, meaning nothing changes. Like, for example, just some family members are ours, right? And whenever we would go to visit, their conversation would always be the same. What restaurant they went to, who they met when they were there, what they ate when they were there, what kind of cigar they smoked, and I mean real cigars, what drink they drank, and basically the nightlife. And so the conversation would every so often would shift to like religion or spirituality and things like that, but it would always float back to, oh, we went over here and met this person and we met that person. And one day I was like, you guys always meeting somebody like important, famous, got money or whatever. What are you doing with the connections? And they just had a blank look in their face, and I'm like, what is the point of meeting all these people? You're not networking. You're not growing with them. You're not collaborating with them. What? And you met them, and what? Like, what's the next step? They had nothing. I was like, you know what? Midnight Jaguar, hi. Nice to meet you. And thanks for coming. I was like, you know what? Maybe, perhaps, you could give me their number. I'll make a connection with them. We could grow together. And the face they had was like, wait. I'm like, yeah. So, for me, when I connect with somebody, like on the every now and then basis, I see you once a year or twice a year or whatever, and the conversation doesn't change, there's no growth there. It don't have to be that scenario, but you will know it when you reflect on it. There's no growth there. Spirit is saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket with somebody and there's no growth. This is about flexibility and change. This is about adaptation and compromise, being able to work with people. Partnerships is here, and the same thing is on flexibility. You got to be willing to work with people. What's the bottom of the deck? And close some doors. Let me tell you something. With the authority, you can't be scared to close these doors. Ending is here. Cycle's over, right? There's nothing good. If there's nothing good in a space that you're in, it's time to close those doors. Remember, I said at the top of the reading, if you heard, it's time to be strategic. I closed the door recently. I went back and gave them the keys. They didn't ask for it. I said, oh, ain't nobody gonna have no reason to contact me and say, oh, by the way, we need those keys. No, here you go. Let's close, let's sever all the time. And because for me, there was no good opportunities. it was coming to an end because it would have caused me to compromise myself in a um without me being the authority that I am, right? Meaning it wouldn't allow me to be myself. There's certain compromises you got to make to work with partnerships. And if there's no compromise on the other party's end, it's time to close that door. You know what I mean? They're not paying you right. They're not acknowledging you properly. It's time to close that door. There you go. If it didn't work for you, it's time to close the door. Only you know. You got to follow your intuition, but only you know. Only you know what it is that you need to be doing. And I had to make this decision. It was hard. It was hard. It's not easy to make change in your life. It's not. Because you got to step into the unknown. You got to have this faith that things will work out, even though you don't know if it will. You got to know in your heart. It has to. It absolutely has to. Okay, what else we got here? All right, so let's go to the Cosmic Record deck. I left my some of my tarot downstairs, so I'm just gonna work with my oracles tonight. All right, Spirit. But with fertility here, it's in a challenging lesson. It says don't sacrifice your family for your career. So if you start putting your loved ones last, and they are not your problem, the job is, or some other set of circumstances is, you got to rebalance your energy, and you also have to prioritize things that mean the most to you. If your family is your priority, you have to address it. You have to act like it, and you're gonna have to put some hard stops. This is like, I was reading a story. I don't know if it was a Reddit story, but it was something about like American culture versus the Netherlands. The Netherlands, I think that's how they say it, right? And it was a American company that had a location, a remote location in the Netherlands, and so they had Netherlands employees. And when they did a review, the American boss was uncomfortable with the fact that the Netherlands employee would clock out at 5:01 every day, would not answer any emails until, regular business hours. So the whole week could go by, weekend can go by, and they didn't get a response until then. And therefore, they were, um, he was trying to, I guess, intimidate the person into like being what they call a team player. And the person from the Netherlands, reminded them that in our culture, when our workday ends, it ends. And that's as far as you're going to get with me, because blah, blah, blah. So I guess the American boss went to HR about it. But the employee also went to HR, and the HR person laughed. She said, "Don't worry about it. I'll get him straight." And when they talked, he never had another problem from that American employer. See, the thing is, certain cultures want you to sacrifice your family. They want you to sacrifice your family and your loved ones to be on all the time, and without respecting your boundaries and access. When I see certain phone calls come my way, depending on what it is and what it's about, I know certain things are not my emergency. I'll get paid for this. I am not 911. And it's just not my emergency. So I'm not necessarily going to respond very quickly to that. When I have the time. Now, I had to work on that because I used to respond to everything. But it's like, no, I can't. That's not my priority. That's not my urgency. Hell, that ain't my ministry. I am not on call 24/7 for anything and anybody but my family. You get me? So ain't no boss gonna be able to call me or text me or email me odd hours of the night and get me to respond on a work question. Absolutely not. Oops. Tell me that wanted to come out. Solitude says solitude confronts you with your truest self. Okay. Thank you, Midnight. Um, in the silence, you will uncover emotions and thoughts you've long ignored. Through this deep exploration, you will grow more resilient and independent in everyday life, whether at work or relationships. Listen, solitude gives you the opportunity to reflect on some things that you no longer need, which is why endings is here too and closed door. Solitude allows you to evaluate your emotions, to work on your emotional intelligence. But solitude is not the energy you're supposed to stay in. You're supposed to come out knowing a little bit more, self reflecting. Okay, well, let's see. I don't have an answer to my question. Where can I go get help? And then you take the steps accordingly to go get the help, right? Or, um, oh, I now realize what my problem is, and I know I need to change this element. Or I know, you know what I'm saying? Like if you really self reflect, if you have self awareness, you start to realize where you begin and where you end in the situation. What you should do, maybe what you shouldn't do anymore. You learn if you're actually doing it. Sometimes some people take solitude to a different level because folks will take solitude as I'm just gonna be quiet. And if you sitting in solitude and you ain't learning nothing about yourself, you're doing it wrong. Tell me more, Spirit. It says, unveil truth. You're not fully understanding a person or event. Perhaps the truth is intentionally hidden or you chose to overlook certain facts. It's time to pursue clarity and see things as they truly are. Like you on Clarityempress collective. So listen, if you are unveiling the truth of a situation, the hardest part is accepting it, really. Sometimes the truth is veiled between what you think it should be or what you want it to be, and you're not taking it as they are, as it is. But when you really pull back the veil and you start to understand, or a lot of times people's intentions will show through, even though they say they mean something else, it comes out. It comes out. It gets. People can only hide their shit for so long. Okay, tell me more, Spirit. It says, set sail. You are being called to break boundaries. Living in this vast world offers countless opportunities waiting for you to explore, and remaining in your comfort zone will only limit your growth. It is time to take a step forward, broaden your circle, and let fresh experiences enrich your soul. Remember, I said you have money and you have resources. This is a hidden energy. So you cannot set sail, Spirit said, until you deal with your truth, until you become more self aware, until you understand your role in whatever's going on with you. If you feel like a victim, why? Why do you feel like a victim? If this is not your first time here, and meaning in that energy, then why is that you repeated this situation, or why was it repeated on you? Why? Why does it keep coming back to you? Once you start to understand how you got to let go of stuff that don't serve you, whether it's the victim mentality, fear, shame, regret, all of those things. When you start to realize, oh, I'm holding on to situations that, you know what I'm saying, make my chest heavy, my stomach hurt, my head hurt. And you realize, no, 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 I'm not supposed to keep doing this. I got to change. I got to go. I got to, that's when spirit will be like, okay, now you learn the lesson. Because they had to make it hard for you to some degree for you to learn the lesson. Tell me more, Spirit. That's why people have repeated karma, or they have all these like mishaps Things that just keep happening. It don't be because somebody puts some juju on them all the time. It's because the decisions that they making ain't making no sense. Tell me more, spirit. Then we got duality. The universe reminds you that reason and emotions are two sides of the same coin. Don't rely solely on one. Balancing both leads to clear decisions. Embrace the calm of reason while acknowledging the power of emotions. I feel like I said this earlier about balancing your life. I don't know if I was talking to somebody else, but balancing your life, that duality. I believe this about myself, that I do rely on my emotional antennas, and a lot of us do. We have been through experiences and traumas and things with people, right? So our emotional antennas give us warning signals, right? But we also have to be rooted in some form of reality, right? So, for example, let's just say in your experience, somebody's always like, I don't know, trying to get over on you or play with your head or whatever. Once you done, been through that enough, you start to think a lot of people do that to you, or you see signs and everything, and it don't be signs and everything. You just see it because you're rooted in that pain. So then you have to search for the evidence, the reason. Like, why would this person approach me like that? What did I do? What are the circumstances? And sometimes, not all times, you'll find that everybody doesn't have the same motive. Okay? Not everyone is out to get you. You're not everyone's victim. You might feel like it, but you're not necessarily everyone's victim. Not everyone has bad intentions. Some do, some don't. And it's called, you have to get rooted in reality to see the difference. Some people, they don't, they just hurt. They're just hurt and they don't understand and they move accordingly. But Spirit is saying, you got to let that shit go. All right, tell me about flexibilities and gambling. Wow. Okay, we got assassin. Someone. Okay, see? Now we got to pinpoint it. This is assassin, right? And it says someone or something is scheming in the shadows, and the universe calls you to observe keenly like an assassin. In the coming days, hidden intentions will be revealed, and you must decisively uncover the truth and take appropriate action. So there is someone in your life that might make you feel a little victimized because of their behavior. But again, that is not everyone, but it's definitely someone. And whoever that is, you need to close some doors and you need to put some ends to that, because when you do, that's the only time Spirit can bring in the riches. If you are associated with somebody, like if you are tethered to somebody who is weighing you down, is disrespectful, all kind of manner of negativity in your life, imagine getting the blessings and having to share that with that person. You won't keep it long. And that's why your spirit guides are protecting you, because they know that if this is what you're working toward, you will not have it long with that kind of person. So you better step into your authority and be the leader that you are. And that requires some gumption. You know what I mean? And it says, move lightly. What you're trying so hard to control is often what you most need to release. It's you gotta lighten your load. I'm trying to tell you, this is what Spirit is saying. You have to lighten your load. It says, when you stop attempting to hold everything in your hands. Didn't I show you my hands earlier? I'm just saying who was there. I showed you my hands earlier. Let me finish reading. Wow, the universe will lay down a path that's more aligned with you. Let go of what isn't yours, and what's truly meant for you will flow your way. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, I know I said it. But I couldn't say it better. In order, you gotta let it go. You cannot hold everything in your hand and then receive. It don't work like that, because you got to open that grip up. Some folks will play victim with you. And then it will, if you're empathic, it will enact your savior response. And then you will try to hold and control and support and fix everything about their situation because somehow they are the victim. When really, they are really trying to control you. It's like a reverse psychology, or dark, no, dark psychology. It's very insidious, disrespectful, okay? But if you're not aware, you go into fix it mode. I can fix it. I can save the day. I can make it well. I can make it right, but you can't save them from themselves. So what are you going to do with your life? You going to fix it all the time? You going to people please? You going to trying to control the environment? You going to stay tethered to entanglements? Are you going to choose yourself so that spirit can give you what's meant for you to flow your way? Money and abundance, resources is here. But it's like, you can't get it until you release this shit. I didn't know this was going to turn out like that. You know, when I got the download, I was like, okay, we're just going to see what come out, right? You are the only one getting in your own way. You are the only one that gets in your own way. Let me tell you something. And I said this to another mentee. Go to the therapist and talk to them about your people-pleasing ways. Because she said something that acknowledged that she realized she did that. And I'm like, yeah. Go ask the therapist how to show you to cut that out. Because you ain't listening to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's got you holding on to things you don't need, to people, obligating yourself in ways you don't need to obligate yourself. So ask the therapist. Because I don't know. And I'm sharing with y'all that, and you may be in your people pleasing ways and you know it, you're self-aware now, then you need to go get some help to stop doing that. That will help you close those doors. That will help you release things and end things that no longer serve you. Why? Because you won't feel the need to get validation, or you won't feel the need to control situations you can't control. People are who they are, and you gotta let them be what they say they want to be. You can't control nobody, and you can't let nobody control you. Let them go. Let any situation that didn't work for you go, so that you can receive the blessings you deserve. And that requires a level of patience with yourself, adaptability, flexibility, everything that flexible song I'm about to say song Car said. That need to be your new mantra. That you are releasing the pain, or you are releasing the people, and you are seeking the help that you need, because you need help too. That's another thing. Look, a lot of people who are hyper independent, they think, well, I could just solve my own problems. I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody to help me. I can go sit in solitude and uncover my truths, and then I'll be well. It don't always work like that. Some people are very resilient, whereas they know what to do. Not to say they know all the answers, because nobody does, but they know where to go. They know who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? They know which door to open, which door to close. They just happen to know. But not everybody has that within them. Some people are really lost. But when you're lost, what did they tell you to do when you were a child, right? Go ask for help. Go see Officer Friendly, or, you know, what they telling Caucasian kids these days is go find a black woman. Well, go find somebody that you trust to help you navigate your life, so that you can cut the things out that are holding you back, that are dragging you down. Peace, sis. Peace. Go seek the help. We're not in this world because we can do everything by ourselves. No. We're all interconnected by source, but we all have special different talents and things So why not actualize those who have the talents? I tell you all the time, if you need an expert, for women, if you need to go talk about fertility and having a baby, you go to an obstetrician, a gynecologist, right? Or if you want to know about your finances and taxes, you go to either a financial representative or you go to a tax accountant, depending on what you need. If you need to learn, if you need, you got HVAC issues or plumbing issues, you go to an HVAC expertise. You don't talk to the accountant. You don't talk to the gynecologist unless they referring you to somebody who has that expertise. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't go to, I hate to say this, but then, we need our parents, but sometimes don't go to your parent if they don't have the experience to either navigate what you're going through, or they just don't have a Scooby-Doo clue. Okay, go find you a legal, accredited individual that you can get your advice from, so that you can help yourself. Now, if you want to share with your parents, share it with them, but don't expect them to know all the answers. There are people who are professionals that can support what you need. You got to go seek them out. I feel like a lot of people don't want to do the work. They don't want to, they don't want to, they don't want to do the work. And those that don't do the work stay stuck. Like, those are the people that conversation, the mentality don't change. It be the same. The younger kids, what is it? The same kind of music. They smoke, they drink, they hang out. I don't even think they do clubs like we used to. Um, they listen to music all the time. I don't know. I don't even know how they hang out these days. They be on the phone all the time, texting or social media, right? Whatever. Let's just say that's what it is. That's still a repetitive loop of not changing. Back in the day, my generation, certain people were stuck on going to the club as often as they could. I had a friend, she would go to the club every night there was a club open. She used to go so much that dudes was like, oh God, here she go again. Everybody, they seen her more than once. She was not like a bad looking girl or nothing like that. It was just they was tired of seeing her everywhere. Like, what the hell? Sit down somewhere. So, but she eventually, I think she grew out of that. Eventually. So I'm not saying, don't take me wrong, y'all. I'm not saying that anything can happen overnight, but it also could. Change is hard, but you can change. You can grow. You can elevate your life, but you can't elevate your life with something anchor you down that's trying to hold you back and hold you down. You can't do both. It doesn't work like that. An anchor is supposed to keep a ship in place. It doesn't let the ship go with the flow. The whole point of the anchor is to keep it still and steady, right there in place. And there are people who want to control your mind or control your spirit or control you and keep you right there. Spirit said, don't let them. That is the person that you need to be the assassin with. It says somebody scheming in the shadow. The other night I was telling y'all about this girl. Ooh, I think her name was Chrissy, or Kristen, Chrissy. I don't know. I'm starting to lose her name. I did subscribe to her channel, but she's a young lady who's leaving an abusive household, and she got all her finances together. She bought her a Tesla, made sure it was in her name. Like, she understood that she's privileged. Like, her family comes from wealth. So, I saw some people in the comments really nasty about how, oh, wow, you're so privileged, acting like she had so much, and how dare she disrespect her parents. But her parents were emotionally and mentally abusive to her. She told a couple stories as to what that meant, what that looked like. But I noticed in the comments too, there was a couple people congratulating her for getting out of that situation. And I saw one person, I don't know if it was a male or female, but they said they struggled and they finally got a job, which was like, wow. Like, some basic, you're 27, you didn't have a job. They said their parents was kind of messing them up to not, they didn't want them to work. But it was stifling the person's independence, which kept them anchored in that situation because they didn't have any means to take care of themselves. You get what I'm saying? So, if you're holding on to a situation, parent, husband, wife, that's keeping you anchored, you gonna have to change something. So if you're not working, go get a job. Get you some money. Get you a way to be able to sustain yourself. Do what it is that you need to do. Also, what I noticed she was saying was that because she identified with their side of things, she at first, and I'm talking about the girl whose YouTube channel was, she the therapy wasn't penetrating. And it was until she finally flipped the script and realized, oh, wait a minute, that's not the right perspective. And she said that's when everything changed. I feel like, people will anchor themselves to all kinds of entanglements, and they require divorce. They require moving out. They require a major shift. So Spirit is saying there's blessings on the other side, but they'll be held back from you until you make a shift. And to leave you with one thing, and I don't talk about marriage much on my channel, but I will say this: before I engaged in a relationship, a real relationship with my husband, I had known him 7 years prior. I went through DV with somebody else. I had to make a decision to leave that all behind me. That DV situation. I had to make a decision. And once I made a decision, Spirit brought in what I wanted and needed. But the longer I would have held on to that, the longer I would have missed my time. I wouldn't say necessarily missed all the opportunity, but I could very well have missed more time living my life the way I want to live my life. Also, I would have been a victim. I would have been more in shame and regret and hurt and physically, mentally, emotionally, right? So there was a decision I had to make because that person wouldn't make the decision. They kept saying they would and they would. And I was like, I feel like it's the best decision I've ever made in my life to step out of a, excuse me, of an abusive situation and choose me. I had to close the door. I had to put it in, and I couldn't let myself be tethered to that anymore. I had to cut that cord. And a lot of people, like I said, some people, various degrees of time when people can actually um, come to that conclusion. But it can come to that conclusion. It can be done. So take it how it resonate, y'all. If it don't resonate, don't take it. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that bell. That way you're notified anytime I come on. But if there's something in your life, if you are in a domestic violence situation, if you are suffering mentally because of the people that surround you, you're going to have to step out of that. Because there's blessings on the other side, but not until you make that choice. Not until you choose you. Or your guys are going to be like, yeah, nah, they're not ready. And they're going to hold on to them resources until either they disappear or till you choose you. So that was your reading and that was your message. I know it was a short one for me. We be on here for like an hour and a half sometimes. But take it how it resonates. Okay. I don't need to keep you longer because I feel like Spirit is just repeating the message at this point. So I feel like the message was given. If you agree, let me know in the comments or the chat. Either way, appreciate you. But blessings is here, y'all. It's not like Spirit is definitely not saying you can't get it. You can have anything you want, but you're gonna have to step up. You're gonna have to be flexible. You're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to grow. Fucking with Tuesday. You made some new videos lately, sis? Also, I might do front face videos. It all depends on something in the back end with YouTube. But I'll only do a few. I don't think y'all need to see my face all the time because I be making faces. Yes, get back into it, boo. Because you got a voice that you got to share. You know? I know. I know you have, girl. I know you have. Oh, I know you have. But the world needs you, boo. So come on back in to these YouTube streets. But I appreciate y'all, and y'all gonna have a good on night. We will chit chat. What's tomorrow? Okay, the live donation readings tomorrow. So if you're interested, make sure you read the pinned comment that Black Cherry puts up when that time comes. And then that way, after the collective, you can get your reading. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Make sure you ring that bell when you subscribe. And y'all have a blessed evening. Peace.